Hello friends, in this video I am going to discuss basic probability. Now before explaining each and everything, first of all know so what is the difference between deterministic and probabilistic model. Probabilistic model. Okay, probabilistic model. So two types of models are there, deterministic model and probability model. Now what is deterministic model? In deterministic, if an experiment is repeated under essentially homogeneous and similar conditions, the result or outcome is unique or certain. Okay, so it is predictable also. So, for example, say factorial of 3, whatever will be the condition, always it is 6. Okay, so or say 5 plus 4, always it is 9. So, all are deterministic. Next, probabilistic. In probabilistic, the result is not unique, but maybe one of the several possible outcomes. Okay, now the here in probabilistic, so in deterministic, the results are fixed, but in probabilistic, results are not fixed. For example, tossing a fair coin. Now, tossing a coin, there are two possibilities appearing head or tail. Now, head may appear or tail may appear. Similarly, life of a bulb. Okay, now it is not fixed. It may be 5 years, it may be 3 years, it may be 2 years. Okay, now score of the next match, that is also not fixed. Now demand of a product. Okay, so these are the probabilistic model. Okay, now rolling a die, so outcome may be say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So outcome may be any one of that. Okay, it may be 2, sometimes it is 3, sometimes it is 2, sometimes it is 6. So it is not fixed. So it is nothing but probabilistic model. So generally we use the words like possibly, high chance, likely, odds are the expression indicating degree of uncertainty about the happening of the events. Okay, now what is the theory of probability? Now what is the theory of probability? Okay, now a numerical measure of uncertainty is provided by a branch of mathematics called the theory of probability. Okay, or in other way we can say that through probability we can measure the uncertainty. Clear? Now there are three possible states of expectations are there. For example, certainty, it may be certainty, impossibility, okay, and uncertainty. So three terms are there. So certainty means, so we denote certainty by 1, we denote impossibility by 0, or uncertainty it may be in between 0 to 1. Okay, so in between 0 to 1, so we can say it is uncertainty. Now what is certainty? So whether so what is the factorial of 3? So the answer is 6, it is certain. Now what is the probability of or what is the chance of getting 3 while rolling a die? So here uncertainty is there. Similarly, what is the chance that what is the chance that getting 0 while rolling a die? So always it is 0 because uh, anyhow the values should be in between 1 to 6. Are you getting this one? Now suppose rolling a die, what is the probability that, or what is the chance that you are getting a value in between 1 to 6? So always it is 1, it is certain event. What is the probability, what is the chance that you are getting rolling a die and you are getting 7? So it is impossible event, so it is 0. Similarly, what is the chance that you are getting a value in between, probability of getting 3 or 5? Okay, it is uncertainty event is there. Okay, so in this way we can explain about the certainty, impossibility and uncertainty. Now we should know some basic terminology. First one is random experiment. random experiment. So what is random experiment? So if in each trial of an experiment conducted under identical conditions, the outcome is not unique, but may be any one of the possible outcomes, then such an experiment is called a random experiment. Okay. Now, tossing a coin. So tossing a coin or throwing a die, selecting a card from a pack of playing cards, all are random experiments, because we don't know what is the outcome, but the outcome may be any one of that. Clear? Now, what is outcome? So the next term is, what is outcome? Now, the result of a random experiment will be called an outcome. Okay, the result of a random experiment will be called outcome. Next term is trial. What is trial? Trial and event. Trial and event. Any particular performance of a random experiment is called a trial. An outcome or a conclusion of outcomes are termed as events. Clear? Now suppose we are collecting temperature of a particular area. So we may collect, say, at 6 a.m., 8 a.m., 10 a.m., 12 p.m., 2 p.m. Now we are measuring the temperature, today's temperature. It may be, say, 12.3, it may be, say, 13 degrees Celsius. Okay, it may be, say, 14 degrees Celsius, it may be, say, 16 degrees Celsius, it may be, say, 20 degrees Celsius, and so on. Okay, now, so these are nothing but random experiments. These are the random experiments where outcomes are not fixed. These are the outcomes. Okay, or we can say these are the trials. Trial 1, trial 2, trial 3, trial 4, trial 5, and these are the events. Event 1, event 2, event 3, event 4, event 5, and so on. Okay. Next, exhaustive event. Next concept is exhaustive event. The total number of possible outcomes of a random experiment is known as the exhaustive events. Okay. Now, suppose a random experiment is what? Tossing a coin. So, what is random experiment? In random experiment, outcome is not fixed. Suppose tossing a coin. So, tossing a coin is a random experiment because the outcome may be head or it may be tail. Now, what is exhaustive event? The total number of possible outcomes. Now, if you toss a coin, so the outcome may be head or it may be tail. Now, tossing two coins. So, tossing two coins, the outcomes may be head, 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 tail, tail, head, and tail, tail. So, exhaustive events are, so 4 exhaustive events are there. Similarly, tossing one die, the exhaustive events are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Now, next concept is favorable event. So, what is favorable event? The number of cases favorable to an event in a trial is the number of outcomes which entail the happening of the event. Now, suppose tossing a coin, single coin. So, suppose you want to count the number of head, and your interest is to count number of head. So, how many favorable events are there? 1 favorable events are there. Is there. Similarly, tossing two coins, the events are head, tail, 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 head, and head, head. Now, if your interest is to know the heads, okay, so head is your interest. So, favorable events, how many favorable events are there? 1, 2, 3. Okay, now suppose you want two heads, then how many favorable events are there? Single favorable event is there. Okay, So this is nothing but the favorable event. Next, mutually exclusive events. Next concept is mutually exclusive events. So what is mutually exclusive events? Events are said to be mutually exclusive if the happening of any one of them precludes the happening of all the other. That is, if no two or more of them can happen simultaneously in the same trial. So tossing a coin, suppose we are tossing a coin, so the outcome will be head or tail, not both at a time. So it may be head or tail, not head and tail. So it is not true. Head will come or tail will come, any one of that, not all. Similarly, tossing two coins. Similarly, rolling a die. So rolling a die, the outcomes may be 1, 2, 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. Any one of that. Okay, so that's the meaning of mutually exclusive event. So if one will appear, then the remaining will not appear. So if 3 will appear, then 1 to 2, 4 to 6 will not appear. That is the meaning of mutually exclusive events. Next, equally likely events. Next concept is equally likely events. Now, outcomes of the trial are said to be equally likely if taking into consideration all the relevant evidences. There is no reason to expect one in preference to the others. Okay. Now, suppose tossing a coin. So, if a coin is fair, okay. So, if a coin is fair, the chance of getting head or tail, it is equal. If it is not equal, okay. Now if it's a Coca-Cola bottle, it is a red part and say it is a silver part. Now here getting red or getting silver, it is not equally likely because Coca-Cola bottle cap is not a fair, so it is not equally likely. Clear? Now getting silver is much higher than the chances of getting silver is much higher than chances of getting red. So it is not equally likely. But if it's a fair coin, then getting head and tail is equally likely. Next, what is independent event? Now independent events, several events are said to be independent if the happening of an event is not affected by other event. The supplementary knowledge concerning the occurrence of any number of the remaining events. Suppose tossing an unbiased coin, okay, twice, or a tie is thrown thrice. Okay, drawn a card with replacement, draw another card. Similarly, suppose tossing one coin, next time tossing same coin. So these two are the independent. Similarly, tossing a coin and rolling a die. Tossing a coin and rolling a die, it's nothing but independent event. Clear? Then what is dependent event? What is dependent events? Now if two coins are connected through wires, okay, now it is nothing but dependent events. Or two dice are connected through wires, it is dependent event. Or if tossing a coin, if head appears, then roll one die, if tail appears, then roll two dice. So it is dependent event. Clear? Next, types of probability. Now there are three types of probability. Classical, first one is classical or a priori probability. Clear? Next, statistical or empirical probability, and third, subjective probability. Subjective probability. Now, what is classical probability? Now, if a random experiment or a trial results in n exhaustive, mutually exclusive and equally likely outcomes. So, these terms are very important. Exhaustive, mutually exclusive and equally likely outcomes, out of which m are favorable, to the occurrence of an event E, then the probability of P of occurrence of E, usually denoted as probability of event E. So it is nothing but a simple E, that is number of favorable cases by total number of exhaustive cases. So total number of favorable event, assume it is M, and total number of events, say N. But remember one thing, M should be greater than or equal to 0, N should be 0, and M should be less than or equal to N. Okay, that means probability of event E, always it should be in between 0 to 1. Okay, so probability of any event should be always in between 0 to 1. Now, example of classical probability. Suppose tossing a fair coin, the outcomes may be head and tail. Now, what is the probability of getting head? The formula is what? Number of favorable cases by total number of events, exhaustive events. So, total number of events are 2 and favorable event is 1. So, it is 1 by 2. Similarly, 2 coins are tossed. So, the outcomes are head, tail, head, and tail. So, probability of getting head, that should be, how many are there? 1, 2, 3 by total exhaustive, total 4, or probability of getting 2 head. So, it is 1. So, answer is 1 by 4. So, number of favorable event 1, total number of event 4. Are you getting? Okay. Or rolling a die. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the exhaustive events. So what is the probability of getting 3? So number of favorable cases 1 and total number of event 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the probability is 1 by 6. Clear? Here the probability of getting hits 1 by 2. Why 1 by 2? 2 is the total number of events, so 1, 2, and 1 is the favorable event, that is 1. So probability of getting hit is 1 by 2. Next we talk about the limitations of classical definition. For example, say limitations. Now, suppose say few subjects are there. Say subject 1, subject 2, subject 3, subject 4, subject 5. Now, what is the probability of passing subject 3? What is the probability of passing subject 5? Is it 1, 2, 3, 4? Is it 1 by 5? Or is it probability of passing is 1 by 5? The answer is no. Similarly, tossing a Coca-Cola bottle. So this is the red part, this is the silver part. What is the probability of getting red? Is it 1 by 2? Or what is the probability of getting silver? Is it 1 by 2? Here also the answer is no. Similarly, surviving of any person. Okay, what is the formula for classical probability? So classical probability was number of favorable event by total number of events or exhaustive event. If this exhaustive event is infinite, okay, if it is not defined, if it is a very large, then what will be the p-value? It is 0. So we cannot apply classical probability, okay, if it is not exhaustive. So here it is not exhaustive, it is not equally likely. So S1, S2, S3, S4, S5 passing subjects it is not equally likely, or it is not exhaustive. Exhaustive means what? You can pass any one of the subject S1 or S2 or S3 or S4, S5, but it is not exhaustive. You can pass all the subjects at a time. Clear? So it is not exhaustive. So we cannot apply simple classical technique. So it is not correct. It is not correct. These are now here. What is the probability of getting red? So it is not equally likely. So getting red and getting silver, it is not equally likely. So we cannot apply this particular formula. So here we cannot write. It is not correct. 1 by 2 is not correct answer. Similarly, if n is not known, if it is infinite, then also we cannot calculate the probability. So in this case, we have to use statistical or empirical or experimental probability. Now, if an experiment is performed repeatedly under essentially homogeneous and identical conditions, then the limiting value of the ratio of the number of times the event occurs to the number of trials, as the number of trials become indefinitely large, is called the probability of happening of the event. It being assumed that the limit is finite and unique. Now symbolically, if n trials of an event E happens m times, then the probability of the happening of E denoted by is denoted by m by n, and it is true where n is sufficiently large. Okay. Now just take this particular example. Now here appearing red and appearing silver, it is not equally likely. Now how to calculate the probability of getting red, how to calculate the probability of getting silver? So we have to practically toss it. Practically we have to toss n times. So practically we have to toss n times, and suppose we have tossed say 100 times, and out of 100 times red appears 43 times. So what is the probability of getting red? It is 43 by 100 or 0.43. Okay, so when classical probability fails, that means the events are not exhaustive, they are not equally likely, okay, or if it is not finite, then we have to practically perform the operation, and from the experiment practically we have to perform the experiment, and from the experiment we can calculate the probability, and that is nothing but statistical, empirical or experimental probability. Now the limitation of the experimental probability: if an experiment is repeated a large number of times, the experimental conditions may not remain identical and homogeneous. That is the limitation of the experimental, obviously. Next, subjective probability. The probability of occurrence of the corresponding events are assigned by individuals and are based on their personal judgment, wisdom, intuition and expertise. These probabilities are called the subjective probabilities and represent the degree of belief and the confidence one has in the occurrence of the respective event. The probabilities assigned by different person to the same event may vary from person to person. Now, for example, subjective probability. Now, suppose two teams are playing, say India and West Indies. Okay, India and West Indies. Now, what is the probability that India will win this particular match, or what is the probability that West Indies will win this particular match? Now, it depends on, now suppose and if you ask an Indian, the Indian will say that India will win the match. If you ask an West Indies person, now West Indian, or he or she will tell that the West Indies will win the match. So it is depend on the subject. Okay, and it's a valid subject. Suppose a company CEO, he or she is very much experienced person. Now he have seen so many events in his or her life, and from the experiment, from the past events, from the past experiments, he or she can take right decision. Clear? So that is the use of subjective probability. Now, example of a simple example of how to calculate the probability. Now, two unbiased dice are thrown. Find the probability that both the dice. So first question is two dice are thrown. Question is both the dice show the same number. Both the dice show the same number. First question. Second question, first die shows 6. First die shows 6. Third question, the total of the numbers on the dice is 8. The total of the numbers on the dice is 8. The total of the numbers on the dice is greater than 8. Okay, so the fourth question is first question is both the dice greater than 8. Okay, so it is greater than 8. Now fifth question is the total number on the dice is 13. And finally, the total of the numbers on the dice is any number from 2 to 12, both inclusive. Now, first of all, we should know total number of cases, total number of events are there. Okay, so the events are okay. So total events, if you are rolling two dice, the total events are this. So total number of events are 36. 36 events are there. Now first question, both the dice show the same number. Both the dice show the same number. Both the dice show the same number. So how many favorable events are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So favorable events, both the dice the same number. Favorable event is 6 by total number of events, say 36. So the probability is 6 by 36. Okay. Now next is the first die shows 6. So first die shows 6. First die shows 6. So how many events are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 favorable events are there. Okay, so 6 favorable events are there. Total 36. First die is 6. Next, the total of the numbers on the dice is 8. Total of the numbers are dice is 8. So 2 plus 6, 8, 3 plus 5, 4 plus 4, 5 plus 3, 6 plus 2. So how many events are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So probability of getting 8 is 5 by 36. So why 5? Total number of favorable events. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Next. The total of the numbers on the dice is greater than 8. So greater than 8. So 6 plus 3, 9. So these are the events where the total dice is greater than 8. So the answer is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So how many favorable events are there? 10 favorable events are there out of 36. Similarly, the total number on the dice is 13, sorry. So the maximum is 6 plus 6, 12. So 13 will never appear. So what is the probability of getting 13? It is 0. It is impossible event. And finally, the total of the numbers on the dice is any number from 2 to 12, both inclusive. So minimum is 2, maximum is 12. Okay, and so 2 to 12, the probability is always, it is 1. It is certain events. Okay, so it's a simple example through which we can calculate the probability. In this way, we can calculate the probability. Okay. Now, just a simple. What is the difference between permutation and combination? Permutation and combination. What is the difference between permutation and combination? Now, what is permutation? The total number of the ways of arranging n distinct objects taken are at a time is permutations. So we use for permutation NPR, and for combination we use NCR. Clear? Now what is this? Suppose we have 3 letters ABC. So in this case n is equal to 3. Now out of 3 you want to select only 2. So out of 3 you want to select only 2. The selections may be like this way: AB, AC, BA, BC, CA, CB. Okay, or it may be like that: AB, AC and BC. Now in this case we are using permutation, where the place is important, the order is important, and in this case AB is not equal to BA. They are distinct. Clear? But here we are using combination. In this case AB is equal to BA. Okay, so here position is not important. AB is equal to BA, but here position is important. AB and BA both are different, because position is here A is first, here B is first, so both are different thing. But here position is not important. AB and BA both are same thing. So this is nothing but combination where position is important. This is nothing but permutation, and this is nothing but combination. Okay, so this is nothing but combination. So we know the formula. So NPR, the formula is factorial of n by factorial of n minus r. Okay, so 3p2, so factorial of 3 by factorial of 3 minus 2, so 3 into 2, okay, into 1, so it is 1, so answer is 6. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Similarly, NCR, the formula is very simple: factorial of n by factorial of r by n minus r. Okay, so 3C2 means factorial of 3 by factorial of 2 by factorial of 3 minus 1. So 3 into factorial of 2, factorial of 2 into 1, so answer is 3. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. So that is a basics about the permutation and combination. So we use permutation where place is important. Okay, and where place is not important, where the ordering is not important, we have to use the combination. Okay, and we can solve one simple example using permutation and combination. Suppose, okay, a bag contains 6 white ball, 4 red balls and 9 black balls. A bag contains 6 white ball, 4 and 9 black balls. if 3 balls are drawn at random, find the probability that, so we have to calculate first one. 2 of the balls drawn are white, 1 is of each color, so 2 of the balls drawn are white, clear. Second, 1 is of each color, means 1 red, white, red and black. And third problem is what? None is red. And fourth is at least 1 is white, clear. At least 1 is white. Now how to solve it? Okay, so first one, 2 white, so total 6 white balls are there. Out of 6 white balls we have to select 2 white balls, so total number of combination 6C2. okay, remaining 1 ball is there, so if 1 ball is there, so total remaining balls are 4 red balls and 9 black balls, so total 13 balls. So 2 balls are from white and 1 ball from the other color, so total number of favorable event 6C2 into 13 or 6C2 into 13C1. So total number of favorable events, this one. Now total number of balls, say here 19. Out of 19 we have to select 3 balls. Okay, so favorable events, total number of exhaustive events, say 19C3. okay, so what is the probability that 2 of the balls drawn are white? So probability is what? Total number of favorable event by total number of events, say exhaustive event. The answer is this one. Now second, 1 of each color, so 6 white are there, so 6C1, 4 reds are there, 4C1 and 9 blacks are there, so 9C1, here. So 6C1 into 4C1 into 9C1. Favorable events by total number of events, so 19C3. That is the answer of the second question. Now third, none is red. Okay, so none is red, so in this case the number of colors you know, so none is red, so except red the remaining number of balls, say 15 balls are there. Okay, so out of 15 we have to select the 3 balls. Okay, so 15C3, it is what? 15 is what? Except the red ball, so 9 plus 6, 15. Out of 15 we have to select 3, and total number of events, so 19C3. That is the probability of none is red. And finally fourth one is what? At least 1 is white. So first of all you have to identify none is white. None is white means except white the remaining number of balls, say 13. So none is, if it is none is white, then the answer is what? 9 plus 4, 13C3 divided by 19C3. So this is what? If the probability is none is white. Now if it is at least 1 white, at least 1 white means what? Number of white may be 1, it may be 2 or 3. So here if number of white is 0, then the probability is this, except, so 1 minus this one, that is nothing but it at least 1, it may be 1 or 2 or 3. Okay, so that is the end of this particular video. Thank you very much.